Welcome back to We Needed Roads, where this week we're dusting off the power sword, heading to Eternia, and asking whether Masters of the Universe can finally conquer the big screen. I'm your host, Neil, and yes, We Needed Roads is your favourite plutonium-powered pop culture podcast. We're available on all major podcast platforms, and you can see us as well as hear us if you subscribe and follow us on Spotify and YouTube, which is always greatly appreciated. And in this episode, I'm joined by Jose, Marie, and Claire from the W Rated podcast, and as you can see, Shira as well.
Is she not Tila? I'm very confused.
I think that's Shira. Oh, well, it depends which law you get
looks
into,
like
right?
Tila's outfit, honestly.
And she has the little crown.
Do you reckon it's just because they only made one toy and just couldn't be bothered back in the day?
Well, she's a woman, she'll do for both.
Up until this movie, I did think Tila and She-Ra were the same person. So
I have to give you credit for the effort of actually sticking her to your microphone. That's pretty cool.
She's been in a box marked eBay for 5 years. So I really felt
Really
like
getting used.
I felt like it would be really rude. The box is literally behind me. So I thought it'd be quite rude. I just lifted it up, had a shake, and I was like, there she is.
Isn't that the plot of Toy Story 5? Like, that's what's happening in front of us.
I am not going through my loft to find the old toys.
I think my parents have the tiger in their garage somewhere in a box of my old toys.
You get two chances here,
vividly
Jose.
remember
What
having
is
that.
it? What is its name? It has two names. You
The
get
green
to pick
tiger. You're asking the guy with the bad memory.
one. I mean, Jesus, now I'm going to have to change my intro for you. I'll tell you that much. I was about to say, because now me and Jose are here because we are men of a certain vintage. We grew up with the toys, the cartoons, the comics, and Jose definitely spent time playing with his Snake Mountain. Jose, it could have been worse. I had a Fisto joke ready to go, but I knew I was going to backfire. Marie, meanwhile, is only here because one of her many fictional husbands appears in the film. Has she done any homework on the 40 years of Masters of the Law universe? Has she fucked? Does she care? Also no. But if one of her husbands is on screen, she's got opinions. And then we have Claire, who's bravely arrived with little knowledge of He-Man, but plenty of knowledge of Riverdale. And as Camila Mendes is in this film, it's good enough for her. So, whether you're a lifelong fan who remembers getting He-Man figures for Christmas, someone who only knows the phrase by the power of Grayskull, or you're as confused as Marie is about why a man in a fairy loincloth is the savior of the universe, we've got you covered. Join us as we break down the good, the bad, and the downright skeletal level what the fuck moments from Masters of the Universe and the fact that we're supposed to take a character called Fisto seriously? Cue the music. So firstly, initial non-spoiler opinions. Jose, what did you think?
Okay, I'm going to keep it short and simple. And I heard someone else use this phrase, so I can't be the originator of this. But this is the best mediocre movie of the year. That's my thought. I really enjoyed it. And I think that sums it up perfectly. That's really what I'm going to go with.
It's okay, Jose. I haven't frozen. I was just incandescent with rage. Okay, I'm getting a vibe ready. Marie, your initial thoughts.
Yeah, well, Barbie was for the gals, He-Man is for the men over 40. Going into this, I really expected it, like, I had the exact same expectations like I had with the Power Rangers movie that came out a few years back that was sponsored by Krispy Kreme, but in this case it was sponsored by Amazon. Just like a nostalgic schlock fest, but I have zero of the nostalgia. I just watch everything that Nicholas Galaxine has ever done.
And Claire.
I think they thought that the idea of Barbie was that women still love playing with toys, and they decided what would we do if men liked playing with toys. And I mean, I've said it to you previously, this film to me felt like Troy and Ahmed from Community had made their own movie.
That is a perfect summary.
Troy and Ahmed making He-Man.
Yes.
I loved it. It was so much better than I was expecting it to be. But I had faith for one reason when I saw that Travis Knight was directing it. And honestly, I didn't expect to laugh as much. And even when I wasn't laughing, I just had this big smile on my face pretty much the whole film. So then, let's get into the good, the bad, and the what the fuck moments of Masters of the Universe. So good. My first little good is, even from the opening MGM logo I was in, like, I love it when you have a classic logo and they change it for the film. You know, you have the Paramount Mountain they've done cool stuff with. So, of course, here, what do? They changed the line to Cringer or Battle Cat Jose, for they are his two names, because, of course, they should.
I heard a lot of audible gasps, like, oh, yes.
That set me up for thinking he was going to be in the movie much more than he was, so, and I was slightly disappointed.
So the first thing I liked was the tone, right? I think they got this absolutely right tonally. It's fun, it's campy, it's super gay. There's no way you can tell this story seriously and have it work. And it's funny because I have had some comments where people have been like, no, I want like a darker Skeletor origin story. I was like, no, it doesn't work. Like a more serious take on this franchise, maybe like way down the line if it was ever that big again, and I really can't see it being that way. But I think that would have been the wrong decision. As I said online when it first came on, I saw it, I was like, this feels like the bastard love child of Thor Ragnarok and Flash Gordon, with like that little sprinkle of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, when I saw that first trailer in a slow motion shot of them all, I was like, oh, so this is just Guardians of the Universe, you know, but derogatory.
I kind of on that sentiment. I think it knew what it was. It's a premise that's meant for kids, but it's showing to adults. And honestly, it was campy, but like it took itself seriously in moments that mattered. The fact that a lot of the names for the characters were created through uh Nicholas's, what's his, Adam,
He-Man.
the fact that a lot of the names were created through Adam's character being a child, remembering things, and not actually, and like the characters weren't really named Fisto or other things like that. I think that helped kind of play along with it, and it made it seem grounded, but in a fun way. I think it was just good that it worked with both sides pretty well.
I thought that was one of the smartest things of the script because, yeah, you've got these ridiculously named characters that's what the characters were named as toys. So how do you do that in a film? You have it be what a small child remembered of the thing. He goes, but I don't go around fisting people. You fisted that demon once. And I was, again, it's lowest common denominator jokes, but I was laughing, as was pretty much most of the cinema. Marie, what's your first good?
I mean, this is a very obvious one, but
sorry, let me rephrase that. Marie, tell us about your fictional husband.
You are be grateful that I didn't send you like a long paragraph all about his abs. But no, he made this movie. Without him, I think this movie would have been a complete disaster. He not only like brought like humor, but he also like brought like a physicality to this role. I love the scene in the comic book store of him trying to separate the sword from the statue and then him ending up dry humping the statue. He's just like, he really put his all into it. There were just like some little like acting choices that I really loved. Like, for example, when he says like raises the sword for the first time and says the oath, yada yada yada, his voice cracks, and that is just such a nice like touch, like where he's like, and like this is meant to be this epic moment, and he added that like how the voice cracks as he's trying to raise the sword. He was just so fun. I mean, I did send like my like summary of the movie into the chat, because like every time he was on screen, I was having a great time. It was fun. Every time he was off screen, I was bored.
I mean, yeah, I will say, Marie, like the first thing I think I ever saw him in was Bottoms as Jeff, and that was
so
literally
good.
it.
He's so good in that. I mean, obviously, I know him as Prince Henry. By the way, Amazon, just the thought, this would be the perfect time to release Red, White, and Royal Wedding trailer. Just saying. I mean, like, he's hot right now. It's the same studio. Release the trailer, please. But yeah, obviously I know him as Prince Henley, but in Bottoms, like that, like there's not a lot of humor in Red, White, and Royal Blue, so only a little bit, but in Bottoms, like he brings that, you could see that humor coming in, so it's like very obvious why they chose him.
I mean, he's having a big year. He's had this. He's got, like you say, he's got He-Man, he's got Red, White, and Royal Wedding, and he was also in the Sheep Detectives recently as well.
Yeah, which I still haven't seen yet.
No,
he's good in it. I just need him to get better wigs, though. I'm loving him, not loving the wig in Sheep Detectives and the wig in this. I struggled with them. I loved Adam before he was He-Man. The costume of He-Man is so ridiculous, but I was like, oh, finally he has real hair.
I do love that young Adam is like small and scrawny. I thought, oh, that's a clever way of, a bit more depth to the character. And that when he's grown up, he's still not really. I mean, they try and play that he's not really massive
Desperately
or a good.
trying to make
Yeah.
him
Oh
look
my
like
God,
that was one of
yes.
my
This
notes.
is-
Like,
This
putting
is my
him
note,
in
yeah.
oversized jumpers does not hide the fact how jacked he was. Like,
But he was still a rubbish fighter. He only became
Yeah.
good at being He-Man when he gets his he
Yeah.
raises a sword and he
Yeah.
gets his power. So I love the choice that his main human skill is working in HR. So he's great at resolving.
Yes.
He's great at resolving conflicts through talking and mediation. But that is absolutely old man, but that is absolutely old school He-Man cartoons. Where apparently, because one of the things was because it was so violent, they said no, but it has to be like something at the end to so that's why at the end of every He-Man anime thing, there'd be and what lessons have we learned today? And it would be, this episode was about sharing, this episode was about, it was
Mhm.
there was always a different character doing it. So the fact that he does that in the film, it was so it's a perfect representation of the comic book character. He also wears pink a lot, and I'm so surprised that I haven't seen anyone going, oh, I can't believe that they've portrayed He-Man as weak and incompetent. Especially when you put him next to Camilla Mendes' Tila, she has an amazing intro and just kicks all kinds of ass in the film. But I was like, I'm really surprised that no one hasn't taken about. I haven't seen it. All I've seen is really positive reviews of the film in a lot of places online, which surprised me. So,
Well,
I'm
I
quite
think
surprised
when
by that.
people enjoy it in a certain way, that's something they probably don't even think about, like wardrobe.
Well, do you know
So-
the weird thing is? I think a lot of people are enjoying it in the wrong way. Like, I've seen a lot of blue tick accounts absolutely loving He-Man, and I'm like, but you're not the good guys. I've read some of the,
Mhm.
and I look at some of these other people's reviews, I'm like, no, I feel like you're missing the point of He-Man completely. Like, you've
Oh.
watched it, you've enjoyed it, and you haven't got the point of what it's supposed to be.
Just big man smash.
Yeah.
We're having another scenario like The Boys, where they just the true meaning is
A
over
bit
their
subtler,
heads.
a bit subtler. I mean, people, if you don't get The Boys, then Jesus Christ. Sorry. And Claire, what is your first good?
Keeping on the characters, I loved Skeletor, and this is not a misreading like people with The Boys. I know that he's the villain, but it was so nice, and obviously the film nods to it, being like, "Why are you like this? Because I'm the bad guy, and my skull, like my face, is made of a skull." It's so nice to just have a villainous villain for the sake of being villainous. And it's weird. I would have never said that was Jared Leto. I'd be interested to know, was Jared Leto on set? Did he only do the voice and someone else was doing the physical acting? Because actually whoever was doing the physical acting was brilliant. And then whoever animated the jaw, I didn't know a skull could be quite so sassy. But yeah, I'm super pro Skeletor, and bring back glamorous, campy Disney villains. That's what he was, and I loved it.
So I'm looking at Google, and it does have an actor named Kojo Atta as Skeletor. So I want to say that maybe he was the body actor.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
Okay.
it was
Jared
a really
Leto is a
physical.
little Yes, and Jared
Yeah.
Leto is not that big.
He's
I
in a
know there
suit,
was a
dude. He's
muscle
going to be in a
suit,
suit.
but
Yeah.
still, he didn't seem that large comparatively.
Just the height and the presence didn't scream
Mhm.
Jared Leto to me.
Whatever we can do to make ourselves forget that is Jared Leto in it, that works for us. It works for everyone, right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, him being in a film and not sucking and ruining it is a surprise. Especially after Tron Ares and, basically anything else he's made in the last
Morbius.
Morbius. I mean, look, yes, he's a weirdo who started his own cult and is allegedly massively problematic. But thankfully, you can watch his performance as Skeletor, and if you didn't know it was him, that makes it okay, because you're not going to know it's Jared Leto. So, yes, he's buried under a snake mountain of practical and CGI makeup and his cod English accent. When I first heard his first couple of lines, I was like, they should have got Patrick Stewart to voice him.
Well, that was not even Patrick Stewart, but it felt confusing to me why they even cast Jared Leto, especially if he didn't do
Yeah.
the physical acting. And then he's doing, the voice is brilliant, so maybe he is a talented voice actor and we've just not seen that before. But I'm very pro Marie says, I'm very pro
We'll get to it
hiring
later.
voice actors to do voice acting. So it does seem like an odd stunt casting. But I did love the voice, so fair props to him. He did a good job.
Mm. So one thing I've got on the good as well is the direction. Now, Travis Knight, I mean, I see his name on a film these days. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be good.
Can
And
you tell me what else he's done? Because I don't
Oh.
recognize his name.
I have got a history of Travis Knight prepared. And there was some interesting stuff in his history that I would absolutely not know at all if I hadn't read this article and Googled him, which is the same thing. Right. So when I see his name and stuff, I'm fairly certain he's going to deliver. However, as you probably didn't know, he had a bit of an easier path to becoming a filmmaker because his dad, Phil Knight, only co-founded Nike and is worth 52 billion.
Oh, you mean Nike?
Nike. We say Nike, Jose. You can have your extra E.
I do believe that the biopic did indeed say it was Nike. Matt
Okay.
Damon and Ben Affleck did,
I mean, I will secede to Adidas, but I call it Adidas in my heart. You know,
Just
as an
stop now,
American.
Jose. So look, never having to worry about money in your life aside, and also he weirdly had an early career, and this is 100% true, as a rapper called Chili T. And some of the people who did Run DMC's classic albums did his first album because he was going to be the next big thing. He was not.
Oh. No.
So, you're in your mid-20s. You're thinking, what do I do with my life? Well, your dad buys a film studio that at the time was called Will Vinton Studios, and you put your son in charge, who at this point had no experience running a company, but he rebranded that company into Leica Animation.
Oh, I actually know about this. It is only
Right?
because of them that studio has survived, because only one of their films has been profitable. And do you know that film?
It's not. They didn't do Coraline, did they?
I think so. Damn it! I have to.
I was
check,
going to say
'cause I
they've
think
done The Box Trolls, Paranorman,
that
and Kubo and the Two Strings.
I think it was Paranorman that was profitable. It was their
Made
first
money.
one. It was their first one, and they just kept going with it.
And wasn't Kubo and the Two Strings Oscar nominated for quite
I
a
was
bit as
about
well?
to
'Cause that
say, yeah, that was
That was
like
very
an act-
critically.
and it was really
Yeah.
good.
critically-
Oscar nominated, yes. Profitable, unfortunately,
No.
no.
So, hey, do you know what? I look at it this way, right? If you are a super rich guy who wants to make films and you don't have to worry about money because your dad is like a multi-billionaire, then hey, put it into keeping an animation studio going and people employed. That's
Yeah.
a good use of your money, right? And he's making good films as well. The trailer is out for his next film already, which is called Wildwood, which if you look at this, it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And that
It
looks like a
actually made
shoe
me
in.
almost cry.
Oh yeah, the trailer had me. I was like, no. It
Yeah.
looks a shoe in for a best animated nomination already, and it's also written by a guy called Colin Malloy, who is a singer from one of my favorite bands, the Decemberists. If you've never heard the Decemberists, go check them out, people. Their songs are like stories about stuff that happens in olden times. They are amazing. They're like this alternative indie folk band from Portland, and they're that indie and weird. They were in Portlandia as well, literally playing themselves, which is just yeah. So with Knight as well, he has experience making a beloved 80s cartoon franchise into a live action film because he made the massively underrated Transformers prequel, Bumblebee, as well. I loved Bumblebee. Again,
Yes,
really
great
well
movie.
reviewed. Yeah, really
Great
well
movie.
reviewed. You show it to anyone, they're like, oh yeah, that's really good. Because Transformers just had the stink of Michael Bay on them at that point. This was the first one I don't think he was directly involved with. I think he had like his exec producer things. First step, cast Hailee Steinfeld. 2, don't sexualize her. Let her actually be a young girl in it. Great, you're doing well. Classic 80s rock. And the opening 10-minute, I guess, animated bit on the Transformers Home Planet was so good. Like everyone was like, just give this guy all the money. Let him do like the full Transformers movie. Well, he didn't get to do the full Transformers movie because no one went to see it and it bombed. But then they gave him He-Man. And like getting back to the direction, the action scenes, I really enjoyed the action scenes because they were generally they were thrilling because you could see what was going on. The CGI generally looks great in most places, and I just like the bright primary colors, like get in the bin all the old dark DC, you can't see what's going on, and everyone's dark and serious, and it's great. No, bold, camp, it works, and it's fun when it's done well, like this, and like for Ragnarok. Now, Marie, throwing to you on the good. Still, you have costuming.
Yeah, I do agree with Claire with the wigs. I don't even think it was a wig. I think it was extensions because at one point the camera was behind and you could see it wasn't blended properly. But to the costume design credit, it takes some effort to make a loincloth look believable. And I mean, the He-Man costume is so outrageous. The fact that it even looked remotely like not ridiculous is a credit. And yeah, we already mentioned it, like trying to hide his physicality in oversized jumpers. Like and shirts, that did not really work. And part of me did think, like, could have they done like a Captain America where they had like a smaller actor stand in? But then it does kind
Yes.
of add to the ridiculousness of the movie. So I think that would have been a bit counterproductive, and it also would have taken away from Galaxy's physicality that he brought to the role. So I think I just like go with the flow. But yeah, but like the first time you see him like all yassified as He-Man with the hair swooped nice and like blown out by the Dyson and the outfit, and you're just like, okay, this is ridiculous, but I'm here for it.
I was just going to say, with the physicality of keeping him in the role when he's not yassified as He-Man, I just would have lent more into the clumsiness of, like, have it that he is really hench and really strong, but he doesn't realize it. He doesn't have that self-belief because of his upbringing. And, like, the thing that comes to mind is, if anyone ever watched Everybody Loves Raymond, the older brother that they make all the jokes about him just being really massive and a giant, and he's always in the way and he's always accidentally breaking things. I think they could have lent into that more. And so that then it's about that self-belief that, spoilers, he finds out later from the bird that, like, it's not the sword, it's you. I thought that could have been just a slightly, like, way to make that work a bit more.
So following on to the acting as well, I thought Idris Elba's drunk failure man-at-arms was a really nice, obvious, but I enjoyed his storyline. And I like his little redemption arc, and I like
And
how
he
he's...
didn't die.
and he
Like,
didn't die.
I thought he
Yeah.
would die at the beginning because, you know, like he had like the final hero thing when he's like, without me, if I'm still here, there's nothing to fear. And I just went to myself, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again on the bridge, I was like, oh, this is where he dies now. And then, yeah, I've got to shout at Camilla Mendes because I think the only thing I've seen her in was Riverdale, and I kind of tapped out on that when it got super weird around season 3 or 4.
I hate watched it.
The fact that Neil has
You know
seen
what-
more of Riverdale than I have is like actually shocking and leads me to believe that Neil has a TV addiction because like I think I tapped out at like middle of season 2. Like
Oh, no,
Wow.
Marie, it got so weird.
Oh
so
my
weird.
gosh.
I know because I've been like watching interviews and like one of the questions they asked her was like, could you rank Riverdale seasons from like least best to best? And then she started off, well, I suppose the one where we're all superheroes, and I'm like, wait, what?
But then they
What?
become superheroes and there's an apocalypse, and the only way to end the apocalypse is if they all bang together their superhero powers, and then they turn back time and they all end up in the 1960s having completely forgot about their previous lives, apart from Jughead, who is writing their lives. And then there was also half a season that was an alternate reality, River Vale, where they were all evil. It was... I watched it. I hate watched it. I loved the first season. And then I was like, what have you
Yeah.
done here? But I kept going
I
because there's
have-
not that many long-running shows, and I liked the actors.
Jose
I have
is
to
so going to
watch
watch it
this
all now from the start.
Just to see this. This is amazing.
It's
And
tough.
it's-
It's
Yeah,
tough.
It is.
my
I mean, like, I agree with Claire. Season 1 was actually quite compelling, and then it just
But
drop.
at least
Oh,
the actresses have done well
wow.
out of it. Like, the guys
Yeah.
have just disappeared. But, like, Camilla Mendes
Well,
is well on the
KJ
way now.
Apa is Mr. Fantastic. He's outliving his weird music alter ego villain arc thing. I don't really
Wow.
know where that's going, but he seems happy. So
And Lily Reinhardt's been in some good stuff as well recently.
I actually have a fun fact regarding Riverdale, because this falls into my lore. Galaxy actually auditioned for Archie, but
That
didn't
tracks.
get it. Could you imagine?
Okay.
That does track though, based
Yeah.
on his career. I feel I can 100% see why.
I do think Tila, though, she was superb. Like, and what I really liked is she's clearly smarter and a better fighter than Adam, he only gets good at fighting when he gets his, like, yassify glow over, as
powers.
Marie's going to term it. Yeah, but I like the fact, though, there's not a hint of jealousy between them about it, over her awesomeness. And this leads on to something that I know Marie's definitely going to agree with. No love story plot in the film.
Yay.
It's hinted at in one scene, and then Tila just brutally friend zones him. And then, because this Adam is a very non-toxic, positive role model, he just accepts it and moves on. And that's it.
There were
Yeah.
only 2 other people in my screening, but the rejection when it happened, all of us just went, "Oh no!" because it was just so brutal.
But like you say, the film didn't need it. His
They
character
didn't
didn't
need
need
it.
it. No.
Mm-mm.
I was like, yes.
Fun fact that involves Camila Mendez. I was house sitting for some friends, and I had some time watching Netflix at their house, and I actually put on a movie with Camila Mendez called Upgraded, and that's where I was like, she's actually really good and charismatic in this. So, and then I didn't realize I was gonna see her in He-Man like hours later. So I was just like, back to back double movies with Camila Mendez. I'm a fan now, and I'm gonna support her in anything she puts out. So, I'd like to say
If
that.
if you like 90s teen high school movies, she is in one called Do Revenge, which is like a real homage to the teen movies of the 90s. It
Oh.
is absolute trash and one of my favorite movies ever. I rewatch it all the time. It's
haven't s-
deliciously trash.
You have me at 90s. You have me at the 90s.
That's the one that has Sophie Turner in it doing a crazy cocaine breakdown going,
Yeah.
cocaine!
Yeah. But yeah, Camila
have to
Mendez
see it.
plays like a villainous well no, she's wronged, but yeah, it's like cruel intentions mixed with a load of other stuff. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in it in a couple of scenes. But yeah, like it is nonsense, but I've probably watched it at least 5 times in the last 3 years.
And we
I
know what
love it.
Jose's
Awesome.
watching tonight.
There we go. Do Revenge. I love it.
One thing I've got to comment is, again, on Skeletor, when he comments on He-Man's thighs, I was like, what?
He's a fan. He's definitely a
Yep.
fan.
I mean,
And
how can you
his-
not? No.
He was just
Those-
saying what the
Thinking
audience was
it.
thinking. Yeah. Skeletor's like relationship with Evelyn, where he likes to choke her. That was something.
Yeah, actually, I thought it was really well done, and it actually imposed a little bit of fear for me. Not that fear, but like I was like, oh, he's serious. Like,
But he's pure
it's
evil,
burning her
Jose.
skin, and I thought that was a good serious series of moments where it's like, yeah, he's goofy and kind of funny, but like he gets mad and he's like really taking it out on her. So I thought that was pretty. I thought that was well done. Like it wasn't campy and it wasn't like too dark, but it was. I think it really established the character well.
You needed it because whilst I loved his delicious campiness, it was a little bit like, why would anyone fear this guy? So you needed to have a reason for him not only to be feared, but also to have henchmen. And it's like, oh no, he just doesn't use his power, but he is incredibly powerful.
R.I.P. Mossman.
Mossman. Look, I made mulch. That moment made me laugh. Like I don't know why, I just did.
I liked all the bits where he'd do his big speech and no one moved. Like that
Yeah.
that
It's
just
like-
tickled me.
They released that as a little 30-second clip the day or two before it came out, and he's doing his big monologue, and then everyone's laughing, and then they're looking at each other going, is he still going on? And then like Alison Brie's like, keep going to the laughter. I was like, this is just Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. Like that's the
Yeah.
level
I
of what it
actually
was.
rewatched Austin Powers last night after watching this at the cinema. I wonder if that was. I've been meaning to rewatch it for ages, but I wonder if that did link.
Subconsciously done it, yeah.
Nice.
I want a campy
Yes.
villain monologuing. There you
Yeah.
go. Jose, what's your next good?
Honestly, just like the actors involved, I think really brought in a lot of
Chutzpah.
having Alison Brie, Morena Baccarin, Idris Elba. Kristen Wiig was the voice of the robot, the army robot, and then James Purefoy, like he's an established actor, so it's like he's done quite a few films and really like I honestly almost thought he was going to be a villain at some point, like a turnaround. Yeah, and so like well, not authenticity, but like some gravitas, but like some experience to the film, which it's like, yes, they dumped a lot of money into the graphics, but the actors really brought their own. And I mean, Idris Elba, for something that I'm going to mention later with the writing, but like he really made it like a really authentic role, being someone that, He-Man or Adam looked up to.
But special shout out to Christian Betteridge, who played Deanne, who I had to look up her name and to the actress because I was like, who is this person? And she had such a great acidic tone and some really good action beats, like the whole twirling shooting bits. But I couldn't place her. I was like, who is this person? And I
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
at first, is this a dark-haired Heidi Gardner? Because that's who she reminded me of. But no, she is best known as a stunt performer. And yes, she was actual Wonder Woman. So everything you've seen where Gal Gadot's been
wow.
in, she's been Gal Gadot's actually doing the work. So yeah,
hell?
Wow.
Oh, stunt double, you mean?
yeah. This is her first acting speaking role in a film, and she's been a stunt. Like you look through her film she's done, and it's basically anything Gal Gadot has been in. She has been a stunt double for years,
Oh, wow.
and even more than that. And I just thought I really liked the character. She wasn't in a lot, but she absolutely killed it with the time she had in the film. And I want more of her in the sequel. So I was like, yes, give her more work
Yeah.
and let her act now, please.
Dolph Lundgren
OG cameo.
passing on the mantle.
Oh, that was very
Jose.
sweet.
I got the reference. I got that reference.
Yes, you got the good journey.
I thought it was a really cool moment that
I'd forgotten that line though, to be fair.
I knew it was significant, but I had no clue where that line came from. Is that from the original movie?
Yeah, it's like the big line when he's like, good journey.
Yes. And I just thought it was really cool that they have him in.
And I love that Dolph Lundgren's cameo is like, yeah, it's going to be in a gym. You know, of course it is.
Yeah, of course he's still pretty jacked and everything.
No, I'm just enjoying listening to all of your ones because, like, as I'd not quite formulated my idea on this movie, and I was really torn on did I enjoy this or was it awful? And so I'm enjoying listening to this, but then you might then turn me again when we get to the bad. So
Oh, okay.
So my next good is the music. Jose, stop rolling your eyes. You just always. What was your comment after you came out and saw it? Oh, yeah, I guess if the film has a couple of rock songs in it, Neil loves it.
Yes. And apparently they redid the original theme with like
Yeah,
a
they
really good
did.
guitarist.
Again, got that reference.
So, yeah, look, Daniel Pemberton's score is superb. I mean, if you don't know who Daniel Pemberton is, he's the same guy who did the music for Project Hail Mary this year as well. So he's going to have a fucking good
Thank
year
you.
at the Oscars next year. Like,
Yeah.
but it's all like epic fantasy 70s style rock. There's dramatic screens, there's dramatic strings, and just amazing guitar work by Brian May, which, of course, if you know your history, did the music for Flash Gordon as well. And of course, Highlander. There's a Highlander joke they set up early on, and then it does make me laugh though, because the
Yes,
Princes of the Universe
yes.
song drop from Highlander. That was a song they wrote as the theme for Highlander, but they make it work, like you say, by dropping it in earlier. But most of the lyrics have nothing to do with He-Man, so they just looped the bit where it literally was, "Here we are, born to be kings with the Princes of the Universe," and they just looped it and then went straight into a different part of the song. Because I went back and listened to it, I was like, clever, because the other lyrics, yeah, they got nothing to do with He-Man whatsoever. The score though is so good, like it is on a loop for me. And when I'm writing, that is my go-to soundtrack in a minute, because I can't listen to music with lyrics in it when I'm writing, because my brain's like, no, I need instrumental music for when I'm writing stuff. But then you get the piano version of The Cure's Boys Don't Cry, which was brilliant, like the little sad version. But then it kicks into the happy version in the proper song. I was like, again, I was just sitting there, like the music and everything at the start of the film, where people were like, oh, it took a while to get going. I was like, I am loving just being in this world so far. I love that they're not rushing it. Like, how many big blockbusters? No, we need to get to the action. People are going to be bored. Yeah, some people have said, oh, yeah, it didn't get going. I loved that. I enjoyed it more because I was sitting there going, oh, we're getting the backstory. Oh, and just, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I did appreciate, though, I felt that they moved out of Earth fairly quickly, which I really appreciated. I was like, obviously, it's nice to have the build up of the backstory and see who he became. But I'm like, we're here for the masters of the universe, not Adam, the HR guy. So it was nice how quickly they moved.
Well, some of us were, by the looks of it. That was actually the thing I hated with the 87 film as a kid. So I had all the toys. Then the 1987 film comes out, and you're like, why are they on Earth? As a kid, I was like, but they should be on Eternia. Now I know it's because they couldn't afford it, and it didn't make any sense to do that.
Despite stealing half of the budget from Superman 4, I recently learned in my Superman 4 episode of W Rated Podcast, not to plug myself there, but it was very,
Oh, wow.
Perfect
very
segue, Claire.
weird learning about Superman 4 just as this was coming out, because the reason that film is so bad is because Masters of the Universe took 17 million of Superman 4's
Wow.
budget because Masters was going so badly, and then they still ran out of money and didn't have enough money to film the ending, which is why the ending is, I've never seen it, but I now know a lot about it.
It's bad.
Wow.
So yeah, it was interesting to learn all of that just as this was coming out.
And just to tie into Superman 4, it was filmed in the UK, and of all places for skyscrapers, Milton Keynes.
Yes.
Well known for his skyscrapers.
I lived in Milton Keynes for 2 years, and there is nothing there. It's the most soulless place I've ever been to in my life.
This was definitely filmed in Canary Wharf, pretending to be Oklahoma City, right? Like the Batila's spaceship, I'm sure that's Canary Wharf.
I was about to say, living in London, in and around London, Claire, you probably know a lot more of the locations when you see them on screen. A lot more.
Canary Wharf gets used a lot as fake America and fake like future, and I was just like, this is screaming Canary Wharf to me, but I might be wrong.
It's funny because I always just assume if I don't recognize the city, it's like Toronto or somewhere in Canada.
It's Toronto, Prague, or London. That's it now, Jose. They're the only ones.
Or Budapest. They
Or
like to
Budapest.
pass that off
Budapest.
as Russia.
And of course, the main meme song drop is we get the Four Non-Blondes meme, the famous one that, again, I'll flash up on the screen here. That's the meme. Of course, you know what it is. And so you get him saying it, what's going on, and then the song kicking in. I was just like, oh, and of course, end credits. More films need a song on the end credits, preferably by the Darkness, that is just the name of the film sung over and over again in 3 minutes. I just loved it. I was like, of course it's going to be the Darkness sounding like Iron Maiden. To be fair, actually, I think that's kind of what that music that kind of makes you leave the cinema in a better mood. I was like, I think even if you haven't enjoyed it, you're like, oh, that's a great song. The exact same thing happened with 28 Years of the Bone Temple when they used an Iron Maiden song in that. And I was just there like this going, yes.
Yeah, I actually just really enjoyed the end credits as a whole sequence. The music was great, and I knew that there was a cutscene, so I was like, I'll stay for the cutscene. Everyone else in my screen left, all 5 people. But I really just enjoyed the visuals of the end credits. Was lovely, and then that music, it felt very nostalgic, 80s, like neon rock hopecore. Like it was fun, so that was nice.
Marie, what is your final good?
He-Man being a petty bitch. I see you, girl. I see you. We've talked about this multiple times, how like I am a very petty person. So He-Man being petty as well, I just loved it. I loved the speech that he gave before he left Earth, going, I told you all it was real. I'm not crazy. And I just loved it. And then also the fact that he brought his roommate to Eternia. Like, I don't think it's like because I don't think they were actually friends. They were just roommates, but just to prove a point to tell him, like, I wasn't fucking crazy. Do you see? I love that.
I spent the whole movie being like, is he going to go back to Earth and like let people know? Like, people have to know. So I was really glad when the roommate showed up at the end.
My last good is the post-credits things. Because we got 3 in this film. We got one straight afterwards, we got a mid-credits one, and we got a final one at the very, very end.
Oh, I think I missed the final one. Whoops.
You'll find out about that in a second.
Oh.
But yeah, this reminded me as well of the Halcyon days of Marvel when all the scenes were good. Like none of the post-credit scenes were like bad. I mean, the first one, we get Orko. If you don't know who Orko is, he is a little weird blue and purple magician guy. I've got the toy. You literally put the thing in him, pull it, and he spins around with his hands going like this. He is still in the loft somewhere. But yeah, you get Orko delivering the message of the film at the end, which I was like, brilliant, because as I said earlier, that's what the cartoon used to do. And so, yeah, I love that. The mid-credits one is the big one that everyone was waiting for. It's the She-Ra tease. And we hear the line, Force Captain Adora? No, not anymore. And we only see her side profile. And Jose, you got in a right tizzy on this online because the actress ruined it for you before you saw the film.
Yeah, she posted online. It's like literally, I think, because I saw the movie on Saturday. So Friday, she's like, hey, look, I can show off now. And I'm like, I'm scrolling Twitter here. Give me a break. I haven't watched the movie yet. Wait till Monday.
I didn't see the scene, but I saw the uproar about her posting the scene. And because I was trying to figure out, I also at the same time saw something else that was like, that actress is never going to be the real one because she's an unknown. She's definitely a body stand-in. And someone saying like, oh, just wait and it'll be Sydney Sweeney. And so then I was like, oh my God, is there a post-credit scene where Sydney Sweeney is She-Ra? But then I like figured it all out. But yeah, people were very mad. I believe she actually posted it on like Thursday night. Because, because it had advanced screenings in a lot of countries on the Wednesday. So
yeah, that's when I saw it.
Technically out. But yeah, she wasted, and it was someone who had filmed it in the cinema as well. It's like, girl, that's not supporting the arts.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, Jose, because I was like, no, that's a spoiler. Like, because I said, yeah, well, she's only going to be a stand-in. Like, I didn't know she was going to be the stand-in though. Now I was like, you lost your shit over that, man.
Yes,
Jose went full spoiler police.
Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that.
over me saying she was a stand-in, not her ruining it for him.
Oh yeah.
Like I said to Jose, she's not coming back. She's just a stand-in, and now she's done it. She's definitely not coming back.
Oh
I mean-
yeah. She screwed herself.
So if I remember, and I know nothing about She-Ra really, I think she's his twin sister who was sent to another planet. So basically, Superman
See,
It's
again,
gay. Sorry,
I
that's all I
didn't-
know from She-Ra.
and gay.
Well, the newest retelling of She-Ra is
Yeah,
gay, and everyone's saying that they probably She-Ra Princesses of Power. It was a Netflix animation. It looked
Kevin
lovely.
Smith
I
did it,
didn't
didn't
get
he?
to it.
Oh,
And,
okay.
It was meant to be really nice, and it was when we were allowed to have queer cartoons on TV. God, what a horror! They had to take them away.
R.I.P. the Owl House.
Steven Universe.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I didn't know again until this film that she was not Tila. So this is Tila on my microphone. I did not know Tila and She-Ra were different people, and I also thought that She-Ra was He-Man's like wife or love interest. Didn't realize they were
Ooh.
brother and sister. So, but then thinking that she's Tila does help with that, because I guess
Yeah, yeah.
Tila is an intended love interest, even though she wasn't in this film. But yeah, it seems like they're building it out. But so that, because I knew about that post-credit scene, when that one ended and it went to normal credits and all the cinema lights went up, I took
You
my
left.
bag and off I popped. What else did I miss?
So the final scene is Evelyn picking up Skeletor's skull and going, and then walking off with it.
Yay!
You're not going to kill off Skeletor in the first one if it's going to be a franchise. You're going to bring him back.
No.
Oh yeah.
I want like a Skeletor origin movie, but it's just him being like doing the Spider-Man 3 Dark Spider-Man walk. I want that, but for Skeletor, but for a whole movie.
All in campy.
I just
There we
want
go.
him, even as a child, Skullface. I don't want to see Leto ever in it.
And just being
that's
an-
actually great.
Just being an
That's so
absolute
good.
brat, like stealing everyone's candy, like pissing off the teachers. Yes.
Oh man, that's actually great. Like Mega Mind, but no redemption arc.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, there we go.
Well, one thing on the She-Ra thing as well. Amazon, they're already planning a Prime Video TV show on She-Ra.
Now, why
so-
does the man get the movie and the girl get a TV?
Yeah. Great point, Claire.
Oh, what's this about?
I got nothing. Yeah, I got.
Yeah.
Can't-
I mean,
Can't-
at the same
anything-
time, you can't blame them. Like, we haven't touched on it, but I don't think this movie has done very well. It sounds
No,
like
they-
most of our screens were pretty empty. And you saying that you've not seen people reacting negatively to the feminine aspects, I think it's because they didn't go. They didn't
Yeah.
see it to react badly.
I think the
So-
fans went and the people, the trolls didn't go to it.
And so I think moving She-Ra to streaming will be a big plus. You're going to get all the Princesses of Powers fans. That was a streaming show as well. And hopefully this will get a second life on streaming, similar to Dungeons and Dragons, which everyone is comping them as kind of a 1-for-1.
Yeah, well, was one of the head Amazon execs basically come out and was like, "Oh, it's a good start," and everyone was like, "No, it's not. You bombed." And he's like, "It's not just about box office for what they've intended." And yeah, I know it's spin, but also, wouldn't it be nice if an exec actually supported a film that was good and a franchise that's got potential?
I mean,
Mhm.
Amazon are evil and stealing everyone's tax money, so the least they can do is support
Right.
the arts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trailer clip right there. So speaking of bad things, let's move on to the bad. And here's something that absolutely froze me, and I'm still not sure whether I read it, and I did go and check, and it's still there. I looked at the wiki description for this film, and you can see how much has been cut just by reading that. Because on the official wiki, it still says, Adam's mum is originally an astronaut from Earth who ends up on Eternia. That is hinted at with one line in the film where she goes, "I'll send him to my home." That's
What?
all you hear about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was she's from Earth.
I
That's
wondered
what
if
she
that
said. Oh, wow.
was canon to the cartoon, because it was said so throwaway that I assumed that was lore.
I don't remember. Don't
Oh.
remember
I
on
didn't
that
even
one.
catch that when I watched
No,
it.
It's when they're opening the portal and they're like, "Where can we send him that no one will ever find him?" And she's like, "Send him to where I came from."
His mom is like one of my bads because she speaks in the intro and then never speaks again until the mid-credit scene.
end credits. Yeah.
Yeah, like this, like again, like feminism. Hello, like
We got one. We were allowed one, and that's it.
yeah. I mean, I was like, at least they didn't die. But like, even like you get the scene with them in the jail cell, and there's better be like a scene cut because like they lock eyes and then he goes to talk to Duncan and I'm like, your long lost mother is right in front of you.
There's a
Your
load
dad
of people
has
in the
just died
jail
as well.
cell. A load
Yeah.
of them in the jail cell were like, "Who are you? You can't be the long lost prince." I was like, "Well, he's just hugged his mum, who's the queen, and she seems pretty sure he's him. So why are you all still
Yeah.
confused?"
Well, the other weird thing is it says that Evil Lynn was on Earth and had an alter ego playing Adam's college professor. Well, Adam isn't at college in this. He's working at HR thing. So I was like,
What?
was this all just cut? Or was this just really bad Wikipedia info?
Maybe it was original draft script, because also this is like the third attempt in the last 10 years to get this film done. So
Hmm.
it could be previous script drafts, maybe.
So
Maybe.
that's one of my bads is the details, because I think overall the whole story's fun and it works, but there's some things that are really inconsistent, and I think Idris Elba character, Man at Arms,
Man at Arms.
Duncan.
Duncan.
Everyone has two names, Jose.
So in the beginning of the movie, he's a little rough, but he's like, he picks up Adam and tells him to look at his dad and be ready for him to turn around, and he kind of supports him. And then when they're in the jail scene, they're talking about how mean and rough he was and he was never supportive, and I'm like, he seemed like the only supportive guy to Adam the whole time. So it just seemed really inconsistent, and it kind of happened in a different, like, a big bad with like with Adam with me was just like, he was playing weak and he looked jacked. Like, I know we talked about it before, but that was a genuine bad for me, because I'm like, there's only so much you can fake with arms that big, you know? It's like,
And that's why I said, like, they should have lent into it to be like, he doesn't know his own strength, and that him being jacked makes everyone uncomfortable. And they do little nods about how, like, him looking up weapons in the office is making
Oh,
all of
yeah,
his colleagues
yeah.
really uncomfortable. Like, they could even do a thing, be like, you are like a 6 foot something man, and he could be like, oh, I'm not that big. Like, lean in.
yes, that would have
Yeah.
been perfect. Because like it was like the whole time I'm like, is he not supposed to be big? And it wasn't until he had his first transformation I'm like, he was
Justified
supposed
blow
to
up.
be small? And
Was
I'm
when he
like, what?
feebly tries to pick up the little weight, and he's like, oh no, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
possibly
I'm
pick
like,
it up.
what is this? Like, I would have understood if he was bad at coordination and for somehow
Exactly.
still jacked. But like, yeah, it was just the little things like that. I'm like, that kind of just put me off a little bit. But like,
Mhm.
One of my minor bads was, it's a shame to put it, Alison Brie. I wanted more with Evelyn.
Yeah,
Like,
we
she
couldn't.
was so underused.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't really
She's
judge
so
the
good.
performance because I think she had like 5 lines. Like even that.
And this was it doesn't help, I've been rewatching Community over the last couple of weeks, but this was my thing with the Troy and
yes.
Abed. It felt like she was playing Annie playing a character.
Yeah, Annie playing
there
Evelyn.
was no,
Okay.
it was Alison Brie. There was no disappearing into the role. No, it's like, with Idris Elba, I was like, that's Idris Elba playing an action guy, but I could believe he was the action guy. Whereas I was like, that's just Alison Brie in a weird costume. She looks great, but I don't know why she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think it goes back to the writing just being kind of weak. Like the small pieces that they gave them just weren't working for them, and even good actors were having a tough time.
And then you don't know what she was acting against either. Most of her lines are to Skeletor. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised she was in this, because to me, Alison Brie is now quite like an indie actress. She does kind of
Yeah.
indie thing. But then, you know, does she have kids? She might have kids. Kids cost money.
I don't think
maybe
she has.
they've
No.
not had children. But
No.
still, like, her and her
I think she has a
husband like
production
making...
company with her husband.
That's it. They like making weird
own stuff.
indie stuff together.
Together
the
was good.
paycheck from this, the
Together.
paycheck from this is gonna fund like 5 more of those films.
Yeah.
So absolutely, like, do it, girl, cash the bag. But I was confused why she was in such a thankless role, and maybe it didn't suit her to be acting against nothing, a cloak.
Probably a stand-in, because
Yeah.
I mean, probably
If
safer
anything,
than
I
having
hope
Leto there.
if there is a series, like, I honestly hope this. Okay, I'm going to getting into, but like, I think there could be more from her as a character. There's so much more potential.
She gets the last post-credit scene, right? So yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I bet when she signed on, she's like, right, so there's how many sequels planned, and I'm going to be in the spin-off TV show, potentially as one of the main villains. Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, one thing I didn't like. Well, I actually forgot that Battle Cat / Cringer talks, And the voice threw me completely. When he talked as a
I-
baby tiger, I was like, what?
Yep, I agree with you. And I think they kept the same voice as him as a baby tiger and his as an adult tiger. And I'm like, that's not how puberty works. Like, I think they should have had two different actors.
My cat sounds the same. He's now 2 and he's had his bits topped and he sounds the same as he did when he was a kitten.
So maybe cat puberty is different than human men
Perhaps.
puberty.
Jose, don't answer this one. Just stay out of it.
Speaking of voices, I was fine with Skeletor and his voice for most of the film, but I swear there was a part in the end where he was like laughing, and I'm like, that should be the high pitched laugh. Like there's the classic cartoon, like maybe just for one laugh, I wanted that high pitched laugh, and I got nothing, and I was just like, come on, you're throwing back so many
was the meme,
nostalgia
Jose.
moments.
Just
Yeah.
memed.
Yes. I just want one laugh.
While we're on the subject, I actually completely disagree with you guys. Skeletor did not work for me at all. In my notes, I wrote down
Wow.
Skeletor needs ballet lessons because to me, the physicality could have done further. He kept doing this, and I wanted him to do this. Like, I wanted him to follow through on the movement. I wanted him to express more. If you don't have a face to work with, you need to over-exaggerate your movements in the body. Like, the one scene that drove me crazy was the one with the sword, where he did the power of Grayskull, yada thing, and then he lifts it up, and nothing happens. And then in the audio, you could hear him going, but he just stood there. Nothing. And it's just like, again, wave it around, do the like remote thing, like add a hop to it. Like it was physicality. And then the voice itself, I mean, maybe because I knew it was Leto, and so my hatred was already spewing through the screen. But for me, his voice sounded like Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords doing his David Bowie impression. Like that was it. Like freaky dream. Like that was like it to me. It just did not work. And like his voice lacked intonation. Like the lines he had were funny, but they were missed because there was like one line during the fighting where it was just like, stop moving your bumbling oaf, I'm trying to kill you here. It was delivered exactly like that, in that monotone, in that you have to add emphasis.
wow.
You have to add like stop, like you have to add like emphasis on each word. And Skeletor just did not work for me at all. I just could not get behind it. The only like positive I can say, like I do agree, like I love the fact that he was just evil. Like we don't like, sometimes you don't need nuanced villains, and the effect of the skull gave me hope for a Skullduggery Pleasant adaptation because it actually did look kind of cool. But yeah, no, Skeletor did not work for me, and honestly, if you recast Jared Leto, none of us would notice.
And it'd probably be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not
Win-win.
directly funding a cult. So yeah.
But I was the same, but bringing it back to Battle Cat, like when it opened with him and the MGM logo, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting an animal, yay. But then, and I'm getting an animal in front of my screen, excuse me, sir. But then the voice acting with the animation didn't work at all.
No.
And it was kind of all right when he was a little cute cub, because tiny cute cub. But then when he comes back as an adult, it just didn't work. And it was kind of the issue that they had with the Lion King adaptation, in that he was almost too realistic. So they weren't cartoonifying and what is the word, like anthropomorphizing his face enough to make it look like he was actually saying those words. It looked like they just had a real tiger and then a voice in the background pretending to say the things. And I think, yeah, Battle Cat was a real missed opportunity, considering how much they leaned into the wackiness all over the place. Why couldn't we have had a wacky animal sidekick as well?
They were planning it for the sequel that we hopefully might get still.
With a very halved budget, and his animation's going to be shocking.
I mean, I kind of talked about the two, the Skeletor voice, and then just the details in the script writing. I'm just like, I just need a little bit more polishing. I mean, like, and honestly, I enjoy the film, so I'm actually considering this nitpicking for myself because it was a fun film. So I really, aside from that, I think that's really it for me in terms of bad.
Well, you forgot the single worst moment of the whole film, Jose. It's when the fucking Amazon Prime van comes to the rescue.
Hey, have you guys suffered through the Amazon War of the Worlds remake? Because let me tell you,
No,
this
What?
Amazon van saving the day felt like beautiful subtlety after watching that. One of the main characters is an Amazon delivery driver, and they solve, like, complete spoilers, but Jesus, don't watch it. They solve the War of the Worlds with an Amazon delivery drone. So
Oh my
a tiny
God.
car hitting someone, I was fine.
Yeah, one other thing I didn't like was that his parents and the sorceress were not in it enough. Like, the sorceress, not explained at all. She's a bird. Why?
Because she looked pretty.
I mean, that was really nice.
And she at least she didn't die like in Deadpool a couple of times. So.
It's funny. My friend, when he recognized her, he's like, "Hey, look, it's Deadpool's girlford." And I'm like, "Yes,
oh my god,
that's
it is.
her."
Yeah.
That did not. I
Marie-
did not recognize her with white hair.
Well, so that was like, and then my other thing was, isn't she married to Ben McKenzie, aka Ryan, out of the OC? And I was like, what a weird life she's living.
Right. And for the OGs, she's
Firefly.
Serenity. Firefly.
Yeah.
Can you tell I didn't watch the show?
Yeah.
Can you remember Inara?
Mhm.
What's a technical term? Companion / space floozy.
Yes, Space Floozy.
Now, one thing that you've got as a good, I think, Marie, that I got as a bad, the roommate. Like, he
yeah.
was-
I wanted more time on Earth, to be honest. That's again something I disagree with you. I wanted to know more about this roommate that spends his time just like watching.
You are the only
rom-coms,
person.
because that's how I imagine Neil spends every Saturday night.
I would have cut the preamble of his life in Eternia for more time with the roommate. I
Yeah.
didn't want to cut any of the return to Eternia stuff, but I could have the start. They really let me know who he was and his relationship with everyone there, and I felt like some of that was covered later in the film.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I could have enjoyed rom-com roommate. I wanted one more film. What's his top 3? What's in his rotation?
It's
Yeah,
again,
rule of
rules
three.
Yeah, bring back one
Yeah.
more joke. Like
Yeah. That could have been a throwaway end credits bit, couldn't it? Him watching his 4th film, but on
Exactly.
Eternia with He-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good end credit joke. Yeah, this one is just a very minor bad, but I think that kind of pulls back into the writing. The sky scooter joke. Instead of him slamming back into the ship, it should have him been stalling it, like he stalled the car earlier in the scene. Again, bringing
Oh,
that joke full
yeah.
circle. It's just like these little things, like, because that's how I thought it was going to happen. I was just like, he's going to stall it, the music's going to stop, and then he's going to restart it. But no, he just slams back. And then again, I was just like, oh, the back slam, we've done that before. That is just, yeah. Why stall the car in the first place in the first scene?
Yeah. Chekhov's gun not fired.
Chekhov's Sky Scooter.
Yeah.
I think so. It's hard because, again, similar to Jose, I don't want to nitpick. I think the biggest thing for me, and it's why I didn't have that many goods and have that many bads, in that I can't tell if this film was successful or not for what it set out to do. Because for me, the thing that could be in either category is the wacky tone. It took me, I would say, an hour of the film to really settle in that they were doing nonsense here. I was like, oh, we are full nonsensing. And again, it took me that long to be like, oh, they're trying to do what Barbie did. They're trying to do the wacky, silly, like weird, like funny, winking at the camera. And the problem being, I think it worked perfectly in Barbie. The ludicrousness of the world of Barbie and her traveling to Earth and that silly sequence, and then the silliness of them being on Earth and how they interact on Earth completely worked for me. And I don't know if it worked in this or not, which is my issue of, I don't know if this film was good or not, because I'm like, I think they wanted to hit that mark, but I don't know if it did all the time, because it's not, it's a far, Barbie worked because though she has lore, she doesn't have set lore. There's so many different iterations of Barbie and so many different tellings of where she comes from. This wanted to do that silly slapstick, cute, quirky element, but it almost kept getting to the edge and then being like, oh, but we'll keep it sensible because we don't want to upset the fanboys. And it was like, oh, I kind of needed you to push it more, maybe, and then it would have worked for me.
I think it's funny that since it's kind of not, it's okay. It's bombed. It's bombed. Since it's bombed, I've noticed a lot of the marketing and clips they've been putting out online are the super most camp ones possible.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
and so they're like, okay, we tried playing it down a little bit for the main trailers. Now let's just go to the people who we hope are going to come and see it. Let's go for the gay audience. Is basically what they're trying to say now. There's that clip with them all dancing to the "What's Going On" techno remix, and it's
Yeah.
really funny. It's just
And there was one that they did either today or last night that was like a little music video to one of the songs on the soundtrack, but to the point that they're just doing that silly Instagram thing where they've got a still image and they're just moving in back and forth.
Yeah, I
and-
saw that one.
Yeah.
live action.
So
Yeah.
they're really
Yeah.
they're really going in for the weird and wacky. But
I-
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked for this franchise in the way that it worked for Barbie.
I think it's because of that intro, because the intro was kind of grounded in reality, whereas Barbie immediately opens up and it's like, hi Barbie,
This is the
hi
whole
Barbie,
world.
like this
Yeah.
is the whole world. Where this intro is like it teases at this fantasy epic, and like I said to these guys, you didn't tell me that Galaxy isn't in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Like what the fuck? So yeah, that grounded in reality, and I was like thinking, where are they going with this? And then when it like cuts to him at the date. Then I was on board. I was like, "Oh, that is a good joke," but it didn't need 15
15
minutes
minutes is
of
too long.
setup for that
I
joke.
forgot that he started it with a voiceover. I'd completely
Yeah.
forgotten, and then I was like, "Oh, he was telling us a story."
Yeah, I think that the Barbie comparison is a lot better than the Dungeons and Dragons one, because I feel like the Dungeons and Dragon took itself a little more seriously, and then there were odd moments, like the moment with what's her name had her miniature boyfriend who was played by what's his name,
Bradley
Man, I keep
Cooper?
forgetting everyone.
Mhm.
Bradley Cooper. Like that was an odd moment in a movie that's supposed to be funny.
But with the Dungeons and Dragons, it's a sci-fi fantasy ensemble that they hid the wackiness or they hid the humor in the trailers. Because again, the marketing for Dungeons and Dragons was this isn't an action film and it's not actiony at all. And so I think that's the comparison as well, that it's been weirdly marketed in that same way. But yeah, it took me an hour to realise the Barbie comp and be like, oh yeah, they're both Mattel. Oh yeah, they're both toy lines.
Wait for the Hot Wheels film later in the year starring John Cena.
It's the
Are you
problem.
Apple.
joking,
Wait, that's
or
a
are
thing?
you actually
No,
saying?
That's a real film.
Oh,
Or is it
my God, I
Matchbox?
thought that was a
It's
joke.
one of the two. No, it's real. On Apple,
real.
Apple
Wow.
has made a Matchbox or Hot Wheels film with
Yeah.
John Cena, and it's coming later in the year.
What?
But he was a Ken.
Okay.
He was Mermaid Ken, so we allow it.
So Cena's in for the big Mattel money.
He's in for the big Mattel money.
There
But
we
yeah, I just don't think when you have someone like Greta Gerwig behind the screen, they can manage that tone a little bit better. But I also think there was probably less pressure. Whereas I think there was so much pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised if that 15-minute opening was put on later. Like that felt to me like a script note.
I don't think that Chitty T probably was that worried being behind the camera with his dad's 52 billion behind him.
Honestly, I think it really was something about editing, because like I said, the parts in the end and the parts in the beginning just didn't seem to line up properly. So it could have been that they shot a couple different
You just
things.
reminded me the meme where they're all standing there laughing like that.
What was that about?
That
That's a
is from the
reference to the
cartoon.
cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
a
had to assume. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm hoping other people do.
I did love that. Do we actually have any what the fucks for this?
I do.
I do.
Oh,
I had
okay.
laughing was my what the fuck.
Perfect. Okay, Jose, go.
I honestly, my what the fuck is why didn't it do better? Because like, yes, I have faults with this movie, but it's a fun movie. It calls back to the 90s. I felt like I was in the 90s watching a really polished version of a 90s movie. 80s and 90s, no, but I'm like, this reminds me of something I would have watched in the 90s, where it's campy, it's fun, it takes itself seriously in some parts, but it just didn't deliver with the audiences for some. Like my theater had a lot of people in it. Like it wasn't sold out, but it had a lot of people. I even had a dad with his daughter next to me, and they were laughing, and I was just like, granted, the kids are not going to understand why they're laughing. It's one of those like Pixar situations where the adults laugh for
Fisto.
different reasons. Yeah. And so I was like, I honestly was like, I watched this on Saturday. I'm like, oh, this is actually probably, I didn't expect it to be a blockbuster. I thought this was going to be good. And I thought it was going to be a fairly successful movie. And it just
The
Didn't.
first trailer looked terrible, though. Sorry, Neil, I interrupted. But the
Yeah.
first trailer
Oh.
looked terrible. And I
Yeah.
think they were trying to play it smart, and I applaud them because I always applaud trailers that don't give you the whole movie. They basically hid the whole of He-Man from it. You never saw him turn into He-Man until the tiny glimpse at the end, which I applaud from We Should All Know Less going in. But I think it gave people a bad taste that it was going to be a complete origin story and he would only turn into He-Man at like the last 10 minutes. And I think people didn't want just the adventures of He-Man on Earth.
What will be interesting is to see how it does in its second week. I just had a quick look. It's done another 10, 15 million in the last couple of days. So it's not dropping off as off the cliff as much as they maybe expected it. Because again, it's had positive word of mouth. It's had generally good reviews. You know, I haven't seen anything. I don't think I've seen anything beneath a 3-star review. And so it's, you know, it's firmly. I think most people would say it's a 3.5 star. I'd go 4. I would say 4 now, having seen it, but I gave it a 5 straight afterwards because I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. And we've been through this. Everyone's heard this before. I will always overrate stuff if I've come out of the theatre with a big smile on my face. And that's what I did for it. It wasn't, and like I say, I wasn't beholden to the animated thing and the cartoon. The lore didn't really matter to me that much because there's so many. I remember having a comic book series. I've actually got, somewhere in the loft, the very first to the 50th issue of a He-Man complete set comics. Although they've been in bin bags for about 30 years, so they're probably not in very good shape right now, sadly.
But I think they just overestimated the desire for this franchise, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I actually got offered press tickets to see this early, to go into London, go to the press screening. There's always a 3 bar. It's a lovely time. And me and my partner chose to give them back and go to our local cinema and pay to go and see Backrooms instead, because we were just like, you know what? Like, I'm sure it will be fun, but it's not something that we're interested in. We're late 80s babies, both born in 89. I mostly know this franchise from my older brother, but we are the target audience. Like, I'm literally wearing a Star Wars t-shirt. I've got figurines all over my house. I've got a Care Bear cup. Like, I am the target nerdy audience. I'm also childless, so I have the spare money to go to films, and this just didn't hit for me, and it didn't hit for my nerdy Pokemon collecting partner. I think they didn't sell it to us right, and I don't think that they realized that the majority of their audience are probably at home raising children, and they didn't think that this would be suitable to bring their children to.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's in one of the WhatsApp groups we're in, isn't it? When people were saying, but is it okay to take the kids to?
Yeah,
And it
there
was
was
like-
a lot of
Actually, I applaud you for your self-awareness, Neil, because my what the fuck is stop overhyping it. Because you made this movie sound like it was the second coming of cinema. Like it was the best thing since sliced bread. And we now do this thing called Neil math. In like whenever Neil overhypes something and says it's an 11 out of 10, we know that okay, it's a decent movie that has a rock soundtrack. That's
for
like
7.
yes, exactly. So a 7. That's like what we do now. We do Neil math.
Unbelievable. I'm just going to stop rating stuff to you guys. You can find out on
You
your own.
really should.
I would say I did get that, not specifically from Neil, but we are in a film group chat together, and then also just we follow a lot of the same people on social media. I did think this was mildly overhyped in that I'm stuck somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5, and I really thought it would surprise me and it would be a 4 for me. So I was a bit disappointed it didn't surprise me as much. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, is it good?" And I was like, "I had a really fun time, but I wouldn't rush to recommend it to you either." But then that's also the specific friend I was talking to. But I also understand why people are overhyping it, because it is a lovely, well-made, fun time at the cinema. It's exactly the kind of thing that I want to spend my money seeing on a big screen, and no one's going. So we have to hype it up because no one wants to see this film.
Sadly.
I'd say it's worth watching in a theater. It's worth watching in the cinema.
So you're underselling it now, Jose. Yeah, it's worth watching.
Well, see, my friend that I recommended it to probably goes to the cinema like once every 3 or 4 months. So I was like, this
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be the one. Like,
So
whereas the
Project
Sheep-
Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's not like the one that
Project
gets you out of the
Hail
house.
Mary, yeah, Project
Yeah.
Hail Mary and Sheep Detectives are the 2 that I pushed her for, because they're
Sheep
both
detectives.
Supposed to be very good, Jose.
Yeah.
Have none of you seen it?
No,
No,
we didn't get
I
it.
missed it.
Oh my god, guys! It is a wholesome meditation on the meaning of love, family and loss. It is heartbreaking. When they turned the cinema lights on, I needed to go to the back room and yell at him because I needed to sit and cry for another 5 minutes, like ugly cry. It is charming, it is cute, it is adorable. The murder mystery element, I'm not a fan of murder mysteries, so meh, but like it was just such a charming little surprise of a movie, and it's in my top 10, if not top 5 of the year. And
Okay.
I need
like
to see that.
also my friend, my cat's not allowed up there, so I have to deal with that in a second. He's mad I'm talking about sheep. But yeah, my friend who I didn't recommend Masters to is a big animal fan, so she would love it.
But I was gonna say the way you just described Sheep Detective is how people have described Paddington 2 to me. And so I'm like, okay, I trust you. I have to watch Sheep Detective now.
Random fact, Jose, do you know who wrote The Sheep Detectives? The same guy who wrote Chernobyl. And The Last of Us, Craig Mazin.
Yeah, like it's written with like real adult thought and care.
Wow. Okay.
Perhaps he
Alright.
just wanted to do something lighter and then still made it.
Well, it's based on a
Life-
book, so I
Okay.
think I
Three
got
bags
read the
full.
book.
I mean,
Um,
the trailer really did not do it justice then.
Oh, I like
Whereas-
the trailer.
me and my partner watched the trailer drunk like 6 months ago, and we were like, what the fuck is this? And it was an immediate, like, the minute that comes out, we are going.
To be fair, it was David who first told us about it. He posted the trailer in our WhatsApp group and he was like, guys, this is my film of the year. And we're like, the fucking Sheep Detectives, David. What? Oh, wait, Hugh Jackman. Then we saw the names. It was like,
To me, it just seems so British that I was like, I can wait. It just,
It is quite British.
I was just like,
moving away from the Sheep Detectives, I feel we need to, like,
Sorry.
crack the whip, as it were.
I did wonder why it hadn't come up more. I was like, it's the same actor, and it's also an Amazon film, and it's like came out within the same 6 weeks, but no one's seen it.
oh,
I actually asked for some listener comments today, and I got some,
yay.
surprisingly.
You actually
Because I always
remembered.
wait. Well, I should do it in advance. I always do it on the day we're recording, and generally no one responds. That's except for that once when I asked about cancelled shows, and we got over 100, and it was insane. And it was all Lockwood and Co fans going crazy about it.
Any selfie fans?
No one mentioned it.
Oh, I love selfie.
Karen Gillan,
Gillan. Oh,
Jose.
Oh,
So, first of all, and I still can't tell whether this comment is positive or negative. It's from Zed at the Video Binge. People who like this film aren't allowed to complain about MCU fare anymore. It forwards a stupider, less refined version of the superhero formula. I'm going to say he's not a fan.
he's not
I don't
wrong,
know.
Yeah.
but I
Yeah, it's
feel like the film knows that and leans into that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an insult to the film. The
Yeah,
film is
no.
like, we're going to take the piss out of it almost.
Because you can't. I mean, I did have someone on my Substack comment underneath and was like, I wouldn't mind seeing a dark, proper, serious Skeletor. And I was like, I could see it, but it doesn't work for the franchise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
he has a
you know-
skull for a head, and he laughs. I think going camp was the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I-
also,
100%.
if you want that, go watch Captain America First Avenger. You have Red Skull. Like,
True.
True.
but he
Mm,
exists.
Okay.
Then we had
Wow.
a nostalgia cast back to Bluey.
Oh, they're lovely. They're a wonderful podcast.
Oh, you know, excellent.
Yes,
Great.
I've been on one of their other podcasts. They're very, very lovely people.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, and they said, a fun movie that just wants to be fun.
Yeah.
Fair assessment,
definitely.
And then our always controversial pal Jose, Stu, over the Stu World Order, who, if we like something, he won't like it. If we hate something, he'll love it. Just the most contrary man known to man. He said, it was a lot of simple fun, not reinventing any wheels, but for a 2-hour time at the movies, it was joyful. We agreed with Stu. Well, I agreed with
There
Stu
we
on something for a change.
go. All right.
Yes.
Oh,
hey.
that was my one mild complaint. It is slightly too long. I went to this straight after going swimming, and I had not bought appropriate post-swim snacks / cinema, and I did spend about the last 40 minutes just kind of daydreaming of what food I was going to get when I got out of the cinema, and I did need it to kind of get going.
Hunger-induced psychosis, and a bad then for the film.
See, this is why you need to come to Portugal, because we've got an intermission, so we can always replenish on snacks halfway
That's
through.
what I need.
I
That is what I
complained at
needed.
first, but now I really am grateful for the pee break.
I believe that's all the time we have on this week's episode of the We Need Roads podcast. and our trip back to Eternia. So, whether Masters of the Universe is a triumphant return for He-Man and friends, or just another entry in a growing pile of nostalgia-filled reboots, we've given it the full We Needed Roads treatment. A huge thank you to Claire for bringing along She-Ra or Teela. Neither of us are sure.
eBay says Teela.
eBay. Available on eBay very soon. Just follow Claire and she'll let you know. The price starts at, well. And to Marie for proving that having a husband in the cast is absolutely a valid qualification for joining the discussion. Meanwhile, me and Jose got to relive the glory days of action figures, cartoon tie-ins, and arguing over which toy was the coolest without making any obvious Fisto jokes. I think remarkable restraint.
We did.
Let us know what you thought of Masters of the Universe. Did it have the power? Was Skeletor everything you hoped for? And how much did it rock? Marie, where can people find you writing Masters of the Universe /fiction online?
You can find me under the handle Life on Mars. That is TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and now Substack. So if you want to hear my unfiltered thoughts about climate change, that's the place to be, people. It's thrilling.
And Claire, where can people find you and the W Rated podcast online?
Yep, you can find me everywhere at Claire Ellen Hope, Claire with no I, and the podcast are either W Rated or W Rated Pod. At time of release of this, will be partway between our Scary Movie 5 and 6 coverage and heading into our Superman 4 coverage ahead of the new Supergirl movie. So yeah, I've been really in the scary super brain at the moment, and it's been weird.
And Jose, where can people find you?
Well, none of my handles are the same. So my personal handle is a Spanish Joe on Instagram. My photo Instagram is Jose Lopez Photos, and my website is jlopezphotos.com. And there is a relationship going on with Jennifer Lopez, so fingers crossed I do her wedding. I photograph her wedding.
You made it weird,
Sando,
Jose.
have you seen Office Romance? What did you think?
I have not caught.
No.
You know, I have been on this rom-com phase recently, and I'm actually like thinking of rating them because some of them are pretty good, and I'm like, how? Maybe my spin is like, should I do this? Will your boyfriend enjoy this movie? Because Upgraded with Camila Mendez was actually really fun. The story was believable for a rom-com, and it wasn't until near the end that I'm like, oh, they were actually on a budget because they didn't have any actual songs. It was just like a composer. So yes, sorry, I really went on a tangent there.
What's that all your socials, Jose?
Yes.
And if you want more We Needed Roads nonsense, you can find us, well, everywhere. We're on Twitter at Needed Roads, Instagram at We Needed Roads, and TikTok at We Needed Roads Podcast. And you can follow me personally at Neil_Gregory78 on Instagram and Threads. Head over to Threads, people. Honestly, I put a post out last night saying it was a picture of Patricia from Widow's Bay looking annoyed. And I was like, the look you get when you try and convince the rest of your podcast to watch Widow's Bay. That has held 2,500 views now. And loads of comments telling you guys you should watch it. It's brilliant.
For
We
the
need
record,
to
I'm
vote.
caught up.
I know,
I'm
Jose.
completely caught up
You are
to
the
it.
one good person now in my good books. We Needed Roads is available on all major podcast platforms. We'd love it if you subscribe to us on YouTube and gave us a follow on Spotify, where you can see the full video episodes as well as hear us. Until next time, good journey.
We Needed Roads.